begins in less than 3 minutes. Hang tight. Radio goes right down to the wire. It always does. Greg's working diligently and feverishly behind the scenes.
Over it.
He's over it. He's over it, but that's okay. And we've got Andy Hooser coming in, who's having some issues at KQAM. So we'll probably have Andy on the phone with us. Be with you shortly, guys.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Woo! This show snuck up on me all of a sudden. We are live on dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, dozens and dozens of radio stations, because I think it's 80. So I say that 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times, something like that. I've lost count. Welcome in, guys. CZ Studios are fired up for you. Mark Walters in front of this powerful Patriot mobile mic. And, of course, it's all being brought to you by the great National Rifle Association. Greg in Dallas, Tejas, how you doing, my brother from another mother?
I'm doing good. This show did sneak up on us. I was working with Andy there in the background, and boom, the show opens playing.
No cues, no nothing, just music. But that's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. It's the professionalism in us. We got it figured out for you. So, Greg, we are not live on Facebook today. We're not live on Facebook today. There are reasons for that, but that really doesn't make any difference. We'll be back live on Facebook tomorrow. Just a settings change over there and on their end. But I'll let you do your spiel, because we are live everywhere else, and you can tell people where to go watch the program. As long as you're not driving, folks, please, we'll have the camera up for you in just a second. Like I mentioned, we got on to it. All of a sudden we were live with you today, which is fun. But we'll have the camera running for you here in maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds, somewhere around there. So hang tight with us. In the meantime, you can hear us. Welcome in. We love you guys. Kicking off your work week. Greg, I'll let you do your spiel, and we'll get Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, who I guess called in today, huh?
Yeah, I got him on the phone.
Good deal.
Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can see us on X at AAR Mark. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon and select your watch live or listen live option. Lastly, to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
And that'll do it. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Happy New Year, my brother from another mother. KQAM, Wichita's big talker. Andy Hooser, the voice of Liaison. Man, you're it. Wichita's favorite son. How you doing, brother?
Man, Happy New Year to you. It's 2026, brother. There is so much to talk about, and I am so excited for this year. It is a Monday. We got the 250th birthday of the nation. We have midterm elections, man. I'm telling you, for all your listeners, strap in, buckle up. It's going to be a fun year.
It really is. I want to start with Mark Kelly, but I've got to go back and find this text. or text, a tweet. I wouldn't take a tweet from a text from him. Golly, I don't know if you saw this, but Pete Hegseth's all over Mark Kelly. Did you know that?
I've been seeing a few things, yes, a little bit back and forth.
Well, the back and forth is that Pete Hegseth has had enough of him and doesn't like him. And I'm going to read you this X post, formerly known as Twitter, whatever you want to call it. You know what it is. We'll call it a tweet. Everybody knows it as that. But he's having him censured and having his rank and his pay reviewed. So here's, it's serious. What'd you say?
That's awesome.
It is awesome, and we're going to go there. Over 25 years in the U.S. Navy, 39 combat missions, and 4 missions to space, I risked my life for this country and to defend our Constitution, including the First Amendment rights of every American to speak out. I never expected that the President of the United States and the Secretary of Defense would attack me for doing exactly that. We'll go to that in just a second. My rank and retirement are things that I earned through my service and sacrifice for this country. I got shot at. I missed holidays and birthdays. I commanded a space shuttle mission while my wife Gabby recovered from a gunshot wound to the head, all while proudly wearing the American flag on my shoulder. Generations of service members have made these same patriotic sacrifices for this country, earning the respect, appreciation, and rank they deserve. Pete Hegseth wants to send the message to every single retired service member that if they say something he or Donald Trump doesn't like, they will come after them the same way. It's outrageous and it is wrong. There is nothing more un-American than that. If Pete Hegseth, the most unqualified Secretary of Defense in our country's history, thinks he can intimidate me with a censure or threats to demote me or prosecute me, he still doesn't get it. I will fight this with everything I've got, not for myself, but to send a message back that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump don't get to decide what Americans in this country get to say about their government. Andy, let's take this line by line, shall we?
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
Okay, first off, I applaud his service to the nation. Absolutely. And it stops right there.
Yeah.
It stops right there. He does have a First Amendment right to speak out. I'll defend that right to speak out. We're using our First Amendment right now. My response on his tweet was then he should have kept his seditious mouth shut, because what he said was a call to action for current service members to disobey their commander-in-chief because he suffers from TDS. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andy. Take it away.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Look, this is a guy who likes to be a bully himself, who likes to make political comments, which he has the right to do. He has the right to make political comments, but you can't play the victim then when someone comes after you for, in response to what you're actually doing. You are a high-ranking former official of the military, someone who represented the United States, someone who represented the military, and that's a good thing, and we applaud what he did back in the day. That being said, if you're going to make political statements and attack individuals, then when they come after you, you cannot play the victim. And that's exactly what he does. That's exactly what Democrats have done. That's exactly their motto, is this take the jab, take the jab, take the jab, and then turn around and, well, I'm the victim, and you can't come after me like this. Look, when you're attacking the military and the institutions that you fought for and that you represented for so many years, and then they come after you, I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, I don't understand why that they would have such a hard time understanding that concept.
He understands it. He's just crying liberal tears right now because he's been called out. Now, is this going to happen to the because the group was known as the Seditious Six, right? That's what he said. He said he's missed holidays and birthdays. I've missed holidays and birthdays fighting for the right to bear arms. Woo-hoo!
Right.
That's my choice. That's my choice.
Yeah.
Now, I applaud him for his service. I absolutely do. Generations of service members have made these same patriotic sacrifices for this country, earning the respect, appreciation, and rank they deserve. Every single one of them are still bound by the military code of ethics because they are getting government pensions, etc. How many others are out there saying the same things he is saying, particularly as a sitting U.S. senator?
Right. Yeah. Look, I mean, as an elected official, you have the freedom of speech, but you also have a different level of that. You can say particular things. You can sometimes you're encouraged to not say certain issues because you're an elected official and you stand up to represent a certain number of constituents. You're no longer just representing yourself when you are an elected official. And some of these individuals don't quite understand that, or maybe they've forgotten that fact because they have their own political agenda, or they're so high and mighty they think that they are representing everybody when they make these outlandish comments. So they need to be careful, because this is just not true when they feel like they can get away with whatever they want to with no repercussions. Guess what, Mark? We have something called consequences. We have action, reaction, decision, and consequence for that rescission. That's the world that we live in, and I think they've forgotten that.
Yeah, I'll continue here. A great analysis. Pete Hegseth wants to send the message to every single retired service member that if they say something he or Donald Trump doesn't like, they will come after them the same way. Let me make this very clear. People say things about Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump that they don't like all day long. Publicly in the media, these men are berated all day long. They are libeled, they are slandered, they are vilified, they are demonized by mainstream media. These people get attacked all day long. It's not about they don't like it. It's about the fact that, he goes on, it's outrageous and it is wrong. There is nothing more un-American than that. I would argue that a former combat veteran and captain who is receiving a pension and who is still bound by those military codes, talking about and literally telling active duty service members right now today to disobey the commander-in-chief, to me, that's un-American. Is it just me, Andy Hooser, or am I wrong?
No, look, when the president breaks the law, then we will call out the president for breaking the law. And when he advocates for military to do something that is against the law, then we will stand together, Republicans, Democrats, right and left, to say, you know what, that's not okay, and we can't do that. Donald Trump has not encouraged the military to do anything illegal whatsoever. And that video the Democrats made, and that the military leaders on the Democrat side, or people that were formerly in the military, currently in the military, whoever, that's been calling for the military to not abide by the commander-in-chief's orders, that is a whole nother level of insanity that we've never seen in this nation before. When Donald Trump does blatantly break the law, we will call that out and advocate for them to not abide that. And by the way, Mark, most people know the military is already obligated to not abide by a law that does break law.
Correct.
Because they're there to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Donald Trump has done no such thing. A political difference is not a law that's being broken unless Democrats get their way and they try to cement what they've been doing. But this is insane.
We're going to continue this conversation when we come back. But for right now, I want to give you my best Senator Mark Kelly impersonation I can as we go to the break. Okay, Andy?
Okay.
Tim.
We'll be right back.
The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, we're back. I'm just stop crying. My name's Mark Kelly. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back to the CZ studios, bro. How you doing?
Living the dream, man.
My eyes are all red. I was crying through the whole 4-minute break.
You know what? You need your safe space, Mark. You got to get. It's a Monday. It's 2026. You need a safe space. If you have not built your own safe space yet, you got to do that. Step up the game, man.
Build our own safe space, huh? Hey, guys, if you want a safe space while you're fighting for the Second Amendment, the NRA's got your back. I'm going to be talking to you about something the NRA just did today that's going to blow your mind tomorrow. So if you are one of those people who just haven't yet gotten it through your head yet that the NRA has changed, wow. It's big. It's humongous. It's so big and so humongous that I'm not prepared to talk about it right this second because I just got the information a few minutes ago and I need time to digest it and make some phone calls to headquarters about it. So hang with me. But you'll see a completely different side of the National Rifle Association tomorrow when I talk with you about this. Really fascinating stuff. It's been made public. Let's just say the NRA is suing themselves, kind of. I'll explain that tomorrow, as I said, when I have some time to chew on this fat. But in the meantime, you can really help us out and join us for 1 year. It's $35, ladies and gentlemen, and we really need your support out there. If you live behind the blue wall, you know exactly what we're talking about. This TDS and Mark Kelly, what does it have to do with gun rights? It has everything to do with gun rights because these are the people who will tell members of our military to disobey their commander-in-chief. Do you believe these people are going to have your back when it comes to supporting your right to bear arms? Mark Kelly already referenced his wife being shot. What does he do? Uses that as an excuse to go after the president and Pete Hegseth. And I want to stay on that for just a second, Andy, because he says more here. Just to wrap up with this clown, if Pete Hegseth, the most unqualified Secretary of Defense in our country's history, thinks he can intimidate me with a censure or threats to demote me or prosecute me, he still doesn't get it. I will fight this with everything I've got, not for myself, but to send a message back that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump don't get to decide what Americans in this country get to say about their government. Let me make something very clear here. The only reason he thinks Pete Hegseth is unqualified, somebody else who fought for his country, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Pete Hegseth also wear the uniform and fight for his country?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded us.
He didn't want to mention that. But he says, if he thinks he can intimidate me with a censure of threats to demote me or prosecute me, he still doesn't get it. I will fight this with everything I got, blah, blah. Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump don't get to decide what Americans in this country get to say about their government. No, but they do get to decide what you, on a pension, get to say about sitting members when you're telling them to disobey the commander-in-chief and the Secretary of War simply because you're suffering from a massive case of TDS. Mark Kelly is wrong on all counts here. Gunther Eagleman, huge Twitter, I guess, yeah, I don't know, what do you call him? Twitter personality? I don't know what you call clowns on Twitter. They got 1 million followers. But his response here just 4 hours ago was, you're a disgrace to everyone who wears the uniform. And somebody by the name of Cat something, who's also got a huge following, says, quiet, Private Kelly. And they go on. And cynical Publius says Pete Hegseth doesn't have the stature to... Oh, I'm sorry, that's Tina Smith. She's got the blue check by her name, or the blue heart, so she's a blue wave lunatic. Cynical so-and-so says sedition is not protected speech under the First Amendment. And on, and on, and on. And it's one attack on Mark Kelly. And this got over, as of right now, 2.4 million views, 17,000 comments. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're on X, I would highly recommend you go read that stream. Just go up into the search bar up there and type in Senator Mark Kelly, and you'll get this whole stream. He doubled down again because I guess he didn't like the responses, so he felt like he had to come back and fight back, Andy. These people, the evidence that TDS is real isn't just lurking out there, Andy. It's out there. You have Chris Murphy, and you're plugged into this. You probably saw this. Chris Murphy talking about Venezuela not being a threat to America. Now, I'm pretty sure CNN and the rest of the lefty outlets didn't play the clip of Senator Murphy pushing the Biden administration to go after him because he was a threat to the country. In his own words, we have Chuck Schumer saying the same thing that Murphy said, but they don't juxtapose that against Senator Schumer, New York's gift to the whole world, doing the same thing, saying the same thing about Biden, let alone Biden goes after Trump on this, and they do not show Biden's own comments when he was a senator talking about the threat that Maduro or Venezuela and Maduro, he wasn't just a senator at the time, they've got the live clips, they were playing them today. The only place you'll get them is Fox News. But they ignore that, Andy. These people hate you to a point they think you're, almost said a very bad word, stupid, and that somehow the media is not, they forget what they themselves have said because they know the media is going to carry their water for them and not mention those other clips. Don't show those clips about me saying just the opposite 4 years ago. Don't show those clips about Schumer saying the same thing. For that matter, don't show the ex-president saying the exact same thing. It's so angering, Andy. It's so angering.
It's very angry. Here's the thing, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually will give a little bit of credit to CNN because they did have Chris Murphy on the show, on a show, and I have the audio we're going to use on my program today where they didn't play his audio clip of calling for Joe Biden to do it, but he had an op-ed back in 2018 out of the New York Times advocating for the replacement and removal of Maduro, and they called him out on it. And they said, hey, wait a second, you were advocating for this back in 2018. Why the change now? And here's the thing, and this is why it's hilarious. You're right, the TDS is insane because they want to legalize their opinions and demonize anybody else's opinions, which is not the way that you run a society, not the way that you run law in any fashion. Their argument is, well, yeah, now after we've called for it for years, and even with Chuck Schumer's tweet back in the day of Donald Trump and Joe Biden both saying that Donald Trump like dictators and that he's talked tough against Maduro but won't actually replace him or do anything about it. While they said all this garbage, now they say, well, Maduro was bad, but we didn't like the fact that you didn't tell us beforehand and that you just went off and did it and declared an act of war against Venezuela as opposed to confronting and consulting Congress to do the approval. But, Mark, they didn't have to. Constitutionally, They didn't have to. This was not a war. This was not an invasion. This was an extraction that happened to be on a military base for a guy that was wanted for the United States for decades now with, a $50 million wanted ad on his head and a bounty on his head. We extracted a guy. We're out of there. There's no U.S. military on Venezuelan soil right now, and that just shows the kind of operation it was. So Democrats are upset because they didn't do it themselves. So now they have to backpedal and say, well, it was good that we got rid of him. We just didn't like how you did it, so now we're going to go after you because we don't like you. And that's all they have. That's the only thing they have.
That is all they have. And this now is when I wish you were in on the studio equipment because I would love for you to play that clip. Bottom line here is that these people, this is why I laugh every time I see these people on social media. They're too stupid to understand that what they put out there never goes away. It never goes away. It's always there. And somehow they just think they're above it all. Meanwhile, they take your tax dollars, funnel it through Somalis to a point Governor Walz pulls out of the race. We're going to go to that clown face in just a few minutes because it's just too fun. We have to go there. We'll be back. Andy Hooser, the voice of Liaison, KQAM, Wichita's big talker, Wichita's favorite son. We'll be right back.
following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show indeed. CZ Studios fired up for you. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom here on the Patriot Mobile microphone. See, I got my cool Patriot Mobile hat on. I've learned to keep this thing in the studio from now on because my kids take it and my wife takes it. They love wearing this hat, and then I can never find it. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, jump back in here because you also work with Patriot Mobile. I want you to do the spiel. Just do me a solid and use my promo code. Go ahead, take it away, Mr. Host. You have time to give your promo. You have time to give your promo code in the next hour. Go ahead. This is my show. Go ahead, Andy. Help a brother out.
That's all right. No, no, it's good to see people actually using Patriot Mobile. I love it because it's a great way to. And you talk about all the time. I do as well on my show. I mean, it's a way for us to utilize our money that goes out to the basic services that we have to go to organizations that we actually support, organizations that actually support the same thing that we support, and so on and so forth. And Patriot Mobile, being the only Christian conservative wireless network in the nation, it's simple. You get the same cell service. They get to use all the different towers of all the other mainstream big companies, so you don't lose any service, and you get to keep your privacy, you get to keep your phone, your number, whatever else, and your promo code's AAR, I believe. So if you're looking to change, the new year, now's the time to do it, man. Now's the time to make those changes you've been holding off and waiting to do. So why the heck not? PatriotMobile.com/AAR.
Patriot Mobile phone right here in my hands if you're watching on your devices. If you're listening, I was holding up my Patriot Mobile phone. Guys, it's the real deal. And if we do not support each other and scratch each other's backs, it's a problem. It's a huge problem. Let's switch to other problems. Let's switch up to that. I mean, the goofball factor with this Waltz guy is unreal. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here, but I don't know what it is other people see in this man. Do they not see the goofiness? Do they not understand? The guy's, look, he's dropped out of the race for governor. Andy? In other words, he's killed his own political career because he knows he's done. He's toast. He's outed. He's busted. And it's not just the taxpayers of Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get up every day and bust your tail to go to work, it's tax time now, ladies and gentlemen. As much as I hate to, that's the first time I've said that since the first of the year. I hate this time of year. I hate it just like you do. But we all go through it. You got an IRS that will audit you over pennies on the dollar. Yet the federal government takes your tax dollars and blows it off to the tune of billions of dollars, and it happens under Waltz's watch in Minnesota. And you've got Somalis stealing your money, all under the watch of a sitting governor. And I say vice presidential candidate. Kamala Harris wasn't elected to anything. Okay, he was a pick by an illegitimate candidate. Period. I was there whining about democracy, and they blow democracy off. They just blow it off. And so, I mean, but Andy, why do I see through this guy and others can't? What are we missing here? How does that happen psychologically? Is it ideologically driven purely? That's it?
Oh, that's exactly it. Look, I mean, he is very unpopular outside of his circle of people because he was already unpopular there. It was so surprising to us that we saw this presidential ticket in 2024 of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they were the two most unpopular people in the entire nation. Tim Walz is not a popular guy in his own state. Outside of his own Democrat Party and outside of his own radicals, I mean, that's why they were coined the term as Tampon Tim, because he was the one that put tampons in boys' bathrooms in the public schools. This guy's absolutely insane. He is not popular, and for some reason they chose him out of anybody else to be the guy that was going to drive the male vote, the white male vote, the rural community vote, which is why they had the campaign video of him out there bird hunting and in the camo and in the orange with a shotgun where he couldn't figure out how to actually load the firearm during the videos of him out there trying to be like the average Joe Schmo kind of guy, where he was going to be Mr. Tough Talker out there on the campaign trail. And we realized that's not the kind of guy that he is, and he's a complete schmuck. Now we find out that he was behind some of the largest fraud that we've ever been able to expose. And we know there's a lot more going on around the country, but he's behind some of the biggest fraud that we've ever been able to actually expose, and he doesn't know what to do about it. So, of course, he's going to start turning around. And, yeah, he's going to – that's exactly it. The money is flowing, and he doesn't know what to do about it. He was not supposed to let this go public, which is why he's stepping down.
All right.
That's exactly right.
Okay, now I made a prediction during the break when I was talking with Greg, off-air guys, and I predicted that Greg was going to jump in the conversation, or going to want to jump in the conversation here because of something I was about to say, which I'm going to say right now. Where's the perp walk, Bondi?
Bingo.
Where is it?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion, because we haven't seen anything from non-stick Pam, that there's going to be any elected official in this country that will be perp walked. They can go to Venezuela and grab a foreign dictator and perp walk him, but God forbid that our own corruption and our own obvious law breaking and just absolute run rampant fraud in this country is not going to have anybody of major consequence arrested. Yeah, all the Somalis are going to get arrested that are perpetrating this with their daycares and their autism centers and whatnot. But you're not going to see anyone in an elected office get arrested except for Donald Trump.
Andy?
Look, I mean, it's sad, but you could take it two ways. You could take it that way and say that the entire system is so broken that we're not going to get any type of justice, any type of arrest. But look, at some point, the evidence is going to be so blatant that even if we do an arrest, which is why I know a lot of times that we wait on cases to make sure that we have a lock-sealed evidence case to make sure that there's no way they can wiggle out of it. We don't, have some type of mishap to where, there was a mistrial or something. I get waiting for the appropriate time if that's what we're going to do. And there's so much overwhelming evidence of fraud here that someone has to be the fall guy, which is why I think him bowing out lightly out of the governor's race and saying he's just going to focus on the duties of the office and so on and so forth.
Come on.
I think that he's right now they tried to make a sweet deal for him to be the fall guy on that sense. But you're right. The question is, when is enough time going to be enough for us to say it's time for arrests and we need to see that? And people have said that there's been some arrests already within the Somali population that was actually doing a lot of this fraud. We don't want that to where we don't know who the hell it is. We want the public perp walk like we've seen from Donald Trump, like we've seen from others that they've gone after on the Republican side. We want to see that to say justice is being done. This will never happen again. We're investigating where else this could potentially be happening. We're done with fraud and with the elites being able to rig the system while the rest of us are trying to struggle. That's what we want. Until we see that, we're not going to be happy. I don't know if we're going to see it or not. I know the justice system is against us, so we have to work 3 times harder to do any type of case to present it to them. But I don't know. I'm always the eternal optimist, so I hope we're going to see something, but time will tell, I guess.
There was when Cash was still trying to, and I'll make this brief, when Cash was still a nominee before he was appointed to the director of the FBI, I remember him and Dick Durbin having a back and forth in the congressional hearings.
Yep.
And Dick Durbin was adamant that Cash would not be looking backwards for crimes, but they will be looking forward for crimes, meaning y'all going to look over everything that we did during the pandemic and J6 and every other little thing that they did, and that they won't be prosecuted for it, and that they will go after people looking forward on
30
crimes.
seconds.
Anyways, that's all I got right there.
I just took your job and said 30 seconds. So because you're running.
I got the clock, yeah.
Okay, now you take us to the break and take us into the break. Go for it. I'm going to take a break while you do that. Go for it.
Sure. And the problem is we're having with what we're seeing is a lot of us are incredibly frustrated with how this administration is handling justice and handling the rightful application of law to people who are supposed to uphold law. And unfortunately, we are getting a bitter taste in our mouth seeing that it's only Republicans that are getting arrested for crimes that have been committed in this country, and crimes against humanity are being overlooked. You are listening to Armed American Radio. I am the producer, Greg Lindemuth, and we are heading on into break. We'll be right back after these words.
I have no way of knowing right now whether the mic is live, so act accordingly. And I say that only because I can't see it. It's blocked me out, which means when we come back from the break, it's a 50-50 shot, unless it pops back up. I guess I could give a test right now. Let me do that on Twitter. Check 1, 2. Unless it pops back up. Okay, our mic is live. There we go. I'll just keep it live for you guys. Give a test right now. Let me do that on Twitter. All right, Greg, mics are live. Just keep it that way. As a business owner, it makes me sick to my stomach. I got to worry about the IRS crawling all over my ass. And I pay my taxes. And I got to worry about audits. And this government gets away with this. I think it was MTG that recently said tax revolt's coming. In fact, Elon Musk mentioned it. Greg, sound like you've done that before. You spend a lot of time on talk radio?
All right, sorry, engineering came in.
That's all right. Your mic's live, by the way.
All right.
Said that was well played. Do you spend a lot of time listening to talk radio? You handle that well. Sick and
No,
tired
they're
of
saying
paying
there's
my
a
taxes
video
to these
issue.
people. Sick and tired of paying taxes to these people.
Yeah. Is there? Are you checking your video streams?
Yeah, right now it's running.
Scott in the chat's just saying there was a video issue.
Yeah, it might be on his end because it's spinning here just fine. Check volumes again. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going off what I'm seeing as feedback in the chat.
Everybody's internet is different, guys. Scott, it could be yours, brother. We a minute out?
20 seconds.
Oh, my clock's off.
No, I was slow to give you the heads up on that one.
Greg's busy checking his notes for running the next segment as well.
No, I'm not. I'm dealing with engineering.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Yeah, guys, I hold this card up every day for watching on your devices or television sets, phones, any of that stuff, iPads, Androids, whatever you're watching on. It's the Attorneys on Retainer card. And February 20th to the 21st, if you want to come out and meet me, Kwong Win, representative and House Judiciary Chair in the state of Arizona, is going to be there as well. Ryan Petty is going to be there. Jared Yanis will be there. A.W.R. Hawkins will be there. I will be there. Come out and meet us. But in order to do that, you got to join up and get yourself an attorney. Okay? It did go up on January 1, but it was nominal. Just a couple bucks. Literally just a couple bucks. So, holding it down for you guys. All right? Best money you'll ever spend. If you carry a gun for self-defense, you know bad things can happen. And if you know bad things can happen, why wouldn't you prepare for bad things? It's not just enough to carry a gun. There may be a worse fight afterwards that could land you in trouble if you don't have the right people defending you. Attorneysonretainer.us. Use that promo code AAR. Visit all of our great partners. You can find them all including Crossbreed Holster. Bud's Gun Shop's got great deals going on for you over there. Always, all the time. My Pillow. Don't forget Mike. Mike's got tons of stuff over there. Visit the AAR website, mypillow.com/AAR. Take advantage of all the 50%, 60, and 70% discounts. I think some of them are high as 80 now. So go check them out. Great deals after the holidays. You get some really fun stuff. And in addition to that, I mentioned Crossbreed Holsters, budsgunshop.com, budsgunshop.com, barrelbuddy.com. Visit them all. Join the National Rifle Association. Get a team of attorneys. We have great partners. We need you working with them. And pick up a Patriot mobile line. You can do it one phone at a time. You don't have to move your entire account over. So whatever works for you. All right, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back. Andy, I'm sick and tired of paying my taxes to these scumbags. I'm sick and tired of it. As a business owner,
Yeah.
it makes me sick to my stomach when I see what they get away with. Now, I will, because I think you were right. I'm going to be fair, okay? This machine, let me go back to a question that I used to get asked this all the time, still do. How did we get here in this country, right? Well, the answer to that is simple. It took 250 years for the nation to corrupt itself to the point that it's corrupted, and we happen to be living through it in the 250th year of our nation's anniversary. We happen to be the generation that is witnessing all this. It just took that time.
Yeah.
It got that fat. It took 250 years for the government to corrupt itself and blow itself up and balloon itself up to where it is today, guys. Now we need to do something about it, but that doesn't turn on a dime. And I'm not going to blame Trump. I guarantee you Trump wants to fix these problems, but you're not going to fix these problems overnight. Unfortunately, Andy, you're right. It is going to take some time to do it, and I don't mind them looking into this to make sure. Now, the easiest thing would be to do, if you want to do it quickly, vote them all out in the midterms, periods, get rid of them. Let's get term limits in place and fix the problem ourselves. Unfortunately, it's easy to say. Some of us can do that in the states we live in. Others cannot. It's that simple. But, Andy, we're at least heading the right direction under Trump. Where imagine if guys, you want to make a comparison, if you're angry about not seeing the perp walks right now, imagine a Kamala Harris presidency. I'll leave it at that, and I'll let you take that one, Andy, because I don't even want to think about that at this point.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, yeah, we are moving in the right direction. I'm always optimistic that we're going in the right direction. We have a lot of battles we're fighting. We're exposing a lot. Look, here's the thing. We don't even have to fix a lot of the problems right away. Exposing them creates this narrative showing how bad the system is. And to put that into perspective, we talk about this fraud and why we're sick and tired of paying taxes. Ironically, the federal budget went up from $5 trillion to $7 trillion during the COVID pandemic, right? We had a $2 trillion in spending since COVID that was supposed to be COVID relief. Now, for some reason, we can't go back to the $5 trillion now that COVID's done. That's now somehow, according to the Democrats, with this ongoing appropriations and budgetary debates right now, that's the new baseline of a $7 trillion budget. Ironically, a lot of these programs that they say were created for the Somali population happened during the pandemic when the fraud first started coming out. They openly said that the daycare programs, all this money coming into the social programs for the Somali population and others, not just the Somalis, but a lot of these programs started as a relief during COVID-19. That, ironically, Mark, is the exact same time as well for a third time where the Biden administration was flying Somalis in and said that they were refugees and asylum seekers and so on and so forth. So as we look at this and we start putting the pieces together, we can blatantly see never let a crisis go to waste. They saw an opportunity. They were handing out money left and right to people for quote-unquote COVID-19 aid, and then all of a sudden we saw a whole bunch of social programs pop up, new populations move into certain areas, and now we have fraud in the billions and billions and billions of dollars in programs that were set up during the COVID pandemic, and now we can't get rid of that $2 trillion out of the federal budget, go back to what we were prior to COVID. I find that kind of strange.
Yeah, it's beyond strange. It's sickening is what it is. It's sickening. Guys, TDS that we were talking about earlier, excuse me, is very real. You should be glad it exists. Let me explain that. The fact that TDS is as bad as it is in these crooks and criminals on the other side means Donald Trump is doing everything you want him to do. That's why they hate his guts. That means he's flying over the target. You've heard the old adage, if you're taking flack, you're flying over the target. The mere fact that they're suffering from TDS to the extent they are, there's a reason for that. And that's why they hate Donald Trump. And in fact, you should be proud of that, frankly, to be honest with you. That's their problem, not yours. And unfortunately for them, Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief. And unfortunately for Mark Kelly, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are running that ship. And he can call him unqualified all day long. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it was a weird pick, too. But I'm not going to call the man unqualified. I'm just going to say I didn't expect to see him picked. But you know why he's qualified, Andy? Because the frickin' commander-in-chief said he was. That's why.
That's right.
Period. You don't have to like that. You do not have to like that. But when you go back and look at the past military operations that Trump has pulled off successfully with Pete Hegseth at the helm over at the Pentagon, well, I might want to say that they've been executed flawlessly, have they not? Andy Hooser, the voice of reason.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's been some gaps that we've had, and I know that, Greg, you talked quite a bit about the Epstein files, and that's, look, one of the biggest gaps that we've had for the Trump administration, and a dropped ball with the Epstein files and the way they did that and the whole Binder thing and Pam Bondi. There's been a lot of concern, but this military operation, what they just did with Venezuela, what the, to me, in my opinion, the Department of War has been doing in general since Hegseth got in there.
Look what they did with Tehran.
The DEI in the military. Yeah, what they did there, I mean, the ceasefires that we're having, the peace that we're seeing around the world, and the strength of the Department of War, getting rid of the DEI initiatives, getting rid of the top-heavy bureaucratic military leaders at the top that are confusing what the boots on the ground are actually doing. We are seeing one of the best militaries I've seen in my lifetime, for sure, with new technology and everything that we're doing. I think that we are now flexing and showing our dominance in the world again of what our U.S. military is capable of, what kind of operation that we were just able to pull off that I don't think anybody else would be able to do without any severely damaged equipment and with no American death. That was freaking impressive, Mark, and that just shows, I think that the term that we need to see, the slogan of Trump for 2026 is FAFO, because I freaking love it.
Difference between Afghanistan and Venezuela.
Yeah, well, Greg just mentioned, Greg, I don't know if your mic was live, but he just pointed out the difference between Afghanistan and Venezuela, Afghanistan and what happened in Iran. Okay? And by the way, Mark Kelly, sir, with all due respect, you know what that means. Pete Hegseth's been the one running the ship. Might want to rethink yourself.
Yeah.
By the way, keep your mouth shut next time and you won't be having these problems. Anyway, yeah, guys, all you Democrats listening,
30.
Your tweets aren't going to age well for you, okay? They're not. They're just not. Trust me on that one, okay? That's some advice. Andy, real quick, where can people find you in the next hour? Go for it, real fast, 20 seconds.
You betcha, man. HooserReason.com. Mark, we love you. Happy Monday. We'll see you back next week.
Happy Monday and Happy New Year to you, my brother. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, KQAM. We love him. He's Wichita's favorite son for a reason. Guys, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters. Presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow for you. Enjoy your day. Stay safe out there. Thanks for being here. Happy Monday to you. And I believe, without any hitches or glitches, I believe Lee Williams, the gun writer, will be back again. He was with us last Tuesday. We'll be back with us again live tomorrow for you. So enjoy your day, guys. Thanks for being here. Please visit our partners. Support them. Join the NRA. Put this card in your wallet, okay? Please visit all of our great partners. Buy something from Bud's Gun Shop, okay? Buy a crossbreed holster. Pick up some Barrel Buddies. Get some Blackout coffee. Here's the new T-shirt. I forgot to show this today. There it is. Caffeinate the Republic, baby. Yeah, kept me up till 3 o'clock in the morning last night. If you were listening last night, you knew I was drinking that iced Blackout coffee well into the last hour of the program. All right, guys, till we meet on the radio again tomorrow, carry on, carry off, and carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught outside his cave without his club. Enjoy your day. See you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for being here.